Follow me like, very simple. What's in the corner right here? I have a food range, okay? People be coming through here. Walking through.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Wait on them.
Really?
I told him I could.
Sure, you just stand right in the corner, and then we'll get Danny in there. Okay? And Dave can move just a little closer.
Oh yeah, I'll bet he wants to get close.
Yeah. In fact, move over just a little more. And Danny, I'll stand right here and we'll celebrate.
Okay.
So
let me know when you're ready.
Okay, so 5, 4, 3.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. That's Stutter and Danny here, back with you guys again, and I have one of the greatest lady wrestlers of all times, and one of the great managers, the sensational, the sensuous Sister Sherri Martel.
Hi, Danny.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you're here today.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're glad to see me.
He's just making my day here today.
Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, you're currently one of the top managers. We just interviewed your boys, the Harlem Heat. You've been managing for a long time.
Yes, almost 2 years now.
Really, 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you want to ask, Dave? We'll just start off with Dave here.
Well, I just want to know, first of all, I want to say that she is the original first lady of wrestling. Because you see all these women coming in, proclaiming to be the first ladies of wrestling. But I remember watching you back when you were in the AWA. I don't know if that was the first organization.
Yeah.
See,
it was basically the first. Yeah.
So there you go, AWA, and then all the way through now. And so the original first lady of professional wrestling. Now, as a manager, my question would be, when you look at a wrestler or a tag team, what makes you say, wow, I think these guys got something? What's the first thing you look for?
First thing you would see if they're hungry. I ask myself, are they hungry enough to be championship material? Because I like being with champions. I like representing champions. The Harlem Heat are hungry. They like to go, and they always go for the gusto. They do whatever it takes to get them to where they want to be. And if these guys do not eat, sleep, and drink wrestling and competition, and in their hearts have it there, then I basically have nothing to do with them. But then again, that takes a little bit of time. That tells when somebody's hungry. It comes from deep down inside them where nobody else can touch with them.
So it doesn't matter how big they are, it doesn't matter how big their muscles are, it's all about the hunger inside.
It's all about the hunger inside. It's a question of how bad do you want it.
Now I want to talk about tomorrow's match. Originally it was supposed to be 4 tag teams, and now it's 3. Now, how do you size up? Of course, you manage Harlem. How do you size them up against guys like the Dungeon of Doom and the Public Enemy?
You mean the Face of Fear?
Faces of Fear.
Was the Grunges. Actually, I think that this match is very insignificant, and I don't think that I'm going overboard by saying that or taking anything away from anybody. Because how do I take something away from people that we've already beat? I mean, that's the way that I feel about it. These guys are the #1 contenders right now. The Steiners have the belts. It's not my fault that they have a bad driving maker. That is not my fault, and that is not Harlem Heat. They should have just been disqualified. They had the belt up. That's fine. These guys are the #1 contenders and should have those belts around their waist. And if I have anything to do with it, with my knowledge on strategies and 18 years of the wrestling business, I think that these guys are going to wind up being champions again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That wouldn't surprise me a bit. I just always respected your talents as manager. Even though Jimmy Hart had a few derogatory things to say earlier when we talked to him about women managers,
Jimmy Hart's got a problem with all women because he feels inferior to them. That's why he talks all the time to hide that inferiority that he feels, and that comes from way deep down in his soul.
Something I feel you don't get enough recognition. I mean, you're great as a manager, and also in my opinion, you are one of the all-time great women's wrestlers. I mean, your record speaks for itself. What you've accomplished and what you've done for women's wrestling. I mean, I think you are definitely #1 on my list. For that, and are you in like semi-retirement from women's wrestling? I haven't really.
Yes, I am retired, period. But on the other note, I think that men feel intimidated by women. This has always been a male-dominated sport. I don't think that it will ever change. It hasn't changed from the beginning of time till now. It's as old as sin. and it's never going to change. Women have always been considered the minority, and they just don't like, it's like an outsider coming in, you know, you don't like somebody outside coming in and taking over your territory. You just, it's a dominance type of thing that for some reason men have and don't want to share. Well, myself, I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, because although still do once in a while, we saw you recently kick the crap out of Col Robert Parker.
Oh, that was a pleasure.
Yeah, I saw you still got it in you. Here a few months ago, it looked like you were going to be having a feud with Madusa. Then what happened with that?
Well, that started, she came around shooting her mouth off, and I said a couple of things to the effect of, she has nothing that I want, number one. Number two, she has everything that I've already had, including her men. And number three, she's got this hard-on, excuse my...
You can say that on our show.
She's got this hard-on for wanting to try to better herself than everyone else. And you can only go as high as your own expectations will let you. I myself had no limitations. However, I don't take a step backward and try to go for something that I'm not capable of doing, which is something Madusa's trying. She's only trying to prove to herself and to everybody else that she can do it. That's in here. You have to have, I can do it, and you have to have limitations into what you can do. She has to, I don't. I have no limitations. I don't have to have limitations because I've been there and done that already.
Yeah, I noticed that she seems to be coming in afterwards. Like I remember you were the AWA Women's Champion. You were a two-time AWA Women's Champion, right?
Yeah.
That's when I first saw you were managing Playboy Ray Rose. They said you were the former champion. All of a sudden, you went and won the title.
Yeah.
And then you never even lost the title. You left it, and then she came in and won it.
Yeah. How did she win it? How did she possibly win it when there wasn't a representing champion there?
Right. It was vacated.
Yeah. Well, like I said, she's jealous. It all comes down to jealousy.
Yeah.
And not being content with yourself.
Part of my curiosity, what has been your most, if you would like to share this with us, what has been your most embarrassing moment in the wrestling ring?
My most embarrassing moment?
Because I have one, but I don't know if it is the most.
I have an idea too. I think
But I don't want
about Chicago.
Mine is when you had to when you had to masquerade as Peggy Sue for the Honky Tonk Man.
No, that was
mine.
fun.
That's not mine.
That was really fun.
That's not
If
mine.
I didn't like some of the comments, a Honky Tonk Man, maybe, you know, he can be pretty.
That's not mine. My most vivid memory, I don't know if this is your most embarrassing, was when in the AWA when Tommy Rich ripped your dress.
You know what was worse than that? I mean, that wasn't so bad because I was kind of, you know, green behind the ears and everything. My worst one was Savage was working at the Ultimate Warrior in Chicago with the Rosemont Horizon, and I had this top on. I was climbing outside the cage, and Warrior reached through and he pulled my top down, so I was exposed to God and the world. I mean, I know God knows what I got and everything, but so does Chicago now.
Who owns that footage? Does the WWF own that footage?
No, that wasn't a tape show. That was somebody gave me a picture of that. So I said,
Who owns the picture negatives? If you're watching the show, can you just mail it? You know.
Yeah, call 646-0560 and you get our address. Leave a message. We'll find you. I see. He just threw off my train of thought there. That one. What's your proudest accomplishment as a wrestler and as a manager?
Being in the wrestling business for almost 19 years now and working with Harlem Heat. Those guys, they're so hungry, they're so good, and they're just good, they're good, honest people. They don't go around trying to swerve people. You always know where they stand because they're very straightforward. You always know where you stand with them. You know, and that's very important to me. They, like I said, they're very hungry, and they're young guys, they have families, and they want these titles, they deserve these titles. And I think that eventually, as soon as the leadership or Eric Bischoff, you know, gets his act together and quit being glory happy and runs a business as it should be run, then those title shots will come back again. But as long as the NWO is going like it is, and Eric Bischoff is so involved with the NWO instead of the business part, then I think that you know, everything else is going to have a standstill because he's so caught up in himself.
Yeah. Speaking of, Scott Hall, was that the same Scott Hall that was in the AWA?
Yes, it was.
I know, he just doesn't look anything like he used to. It's like,
amazing,
it's amazing how, I mean, what, he get cosmetic surgery or what? I just try to stare.
Shared this much?
I know, but I try to stare at him, I can't even picture the old Scott Hall I remember. He's like darker.
It's the hair.
Yeah, it's the hair.
It's amazing when a suntan and a bottle of color will do it.
I thought he really was Latino. He had me really believing he was a Latino for a while.
Yeah.
and then I'm like, that's Scott Hall? I mean, because I'm usually good at figuring these out when wrestlers come and change their identities. I'm pretty good at figuring that out, but that's one of the first stumpers I got, and you actually managed with the Playboy and Pretty Boy who won the AWA tag title from him.
Kurt Hennig.
Kurt Hennig and Scott. I remember that. That's what I started noticing. Man, Sherri Martel is a great manager and a wrestler. It was just kind of unfortunate when you were in the. One of the things I didn't like about the WWF, they try to just ignore your whole past and accomplishment history when you come in.
Well, that's really terrible because everybody has a past, and regardless if it's good or it's bad, you know, it's what the accomplishments that you're making now. I mean, if people live in the past, they're going to forget what's happening in the now and possibly happening in the future. And I think a lot of people really tend to do that, and that's not good because everybody has his own or her important place.
Right.
Do you have any final thoughts for those two other tag teams who dare to enter the ring tomorrow at the Cal Palace?
Hey, remember, this is going to be on next month. But
well, hopefully by then they'll have gotten themselves a real job. That's about all I can say about either one of them. That's as far as my thoughts go on it.
Yeah. Okay, well, you've worked with a lot of. That's like you used to work with Ric Flair too, and what was it like working with great champions like that?
Lots of travel. He's a very flamboyant man.
Yeah. Well, you fit in with that. You're flamboyant yourself.
Well, to an extent, I've kind of calmed down just a little bit, but that's okay. I like it that way because sometimes flamboyance doesn't get me what I want. Brains and strategy gets me what I want.
Yeah. But you've definitely had good fashion too. I mean, you were the. Do you have your outfits custom designed with what you wear? And
that depends on the paper. If it's a pay-per-view, I'll give them one of my designs, and otherwise I'll just throw a bunch of stuff together. And it's really easy to do. Anybody who has a sense of fashion can do it. You don't have to go pay $1 million to look like it.
Yeah. I remember in the AWA that they showed something on you, the type of. Okay, well, I'm talking to her, but I'm not talking to the viewer. You, the video viewer, you're just listening to me. But they showed like this really long limousine that you drove in your jet airliner, which you had an all-male staff.
Yeah.
And all that. Do you like really live like that?
No.
Yeah.
I live out in the country.
You're a country girl.
And I have a black chow chow. His name is Shunji, and I have a boyfriend.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Is he in the wrestling business?
No, he's not. I make it a rule never to date anybody in the wrestling business. You don't play where you get paid.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
I see. Yeah. You mentioned you have a son too, right?
Yes, he'll be 19 July 18th.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 6'3" and 256 now.
Is he gonna be a wrestler?
I hope not. But that's his choice, not mine.
Maybe you can manage him. If he decides to get in that.
I think it might be too personal of an issue for me there.
Yeah.
Because regardless of what, I'm still mom. I might be Sherri Martel to you guys, but I'm still mom to him.
Right. And of course, the thing you get asked the most is if you were related to Ric Martel, right? Yeah, I know, the immediate no. Yeah, that was the first thing when I heard Sherri Martel. I was like,
No relation.
That was quick. No.
She gets asked, that's the question you get asked the most, right?
Martel is a great athlete.
Yeah, he is a great athlete, but there's no connection there whatsoever.
Yeah, is that why you ended up dropping the Martel last name and we're just going as Sensational Sherri and Sensuous Sherri?
Martel has always been my name, so I didn't really see any reason. As promoters, everybody sees fit to change my other name. Sherri's my real name, so that way I don't have a problem with my identity.
Yeah.
At least I know who I am. Even though they can add these other things to it, I know that I'm Sherri Martel.
Yeah. I might add the great Sherri Martel.
Might I add the sexy Sherri Martel?
That too.
You guys are flat.
Yeah, we are.
He gets quiet.
Be careful,
Just like a baby. With fuzzy stuff.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much, Sherri.